Hey guys, Grant Parker here, and in this video today I'm going to cover a question that I get quite a bit actually, which is why build an online course, or more specifically, why build an online course as a business model. So there's really four main reasons that I can think of that have actually affected me and really changed the course of my life by building an online course, and I really want to touch on those four reasons as my sort of main 4 points to give people an understanding of why it's a good idea to build an online course as a business model. So number one, and at the top of the list, because I think it's the most important, is you can actually do something that you are interested in. So why is that so important? Well, it's just going to help you get through to that end result that much easier. Now, we've all been in some sort of job, or we've done some sort of role that we just don't enjoy, and you know for a fact that when you're doing that role, it really does just like, it takes it out of you. You can't concentrate, you have to push through, try and get to that end result. You know, the end of the day just cannot come soon enough, and I'm sure you've all been there and know that feeling. Whereas there's lots of things in your life where you will be, you would do those things even if you didn't get paid for them. And I know that might sound very cliched, and a lot of people say that, but it's the truth. It really is the truth. If you actually have an interest in whatever you're doing, then you're going to be able to do much more than the other person that is just doing it because they have to do it. So now look, just as an example, if you were interested in surfing and that's something that you absolutely love, you love everything about it, you love researching it, you love reading about it, you love doing it, you love watching it, all of the above, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go out and quit your job or stop doing your business or anything like that to go and become a world professional surfer. It's definitely not something you have to do. That's why building an online course is so powerful. It gives you the opportunity to work in an industry that you have an interest in, okay? Because you get to create something around that interest. You don't need to be a professional surfer. You don't need to have the talent to go down and compete with the best. That's not what it's about. Building an online course, it gives you that opportunity to work in the industry around something that you are incredibly interested in and passionate about. Because, like I said, you don't have to be the professional surfer. There is many other avenues to generate an income around surfing. So, especially with an online course, because there's a whole ecosystem when it comes to surfing. There is the actual doing of the sport. There's coaching of surfers. There's beginners lessons. There's writing blogs about it. There is organising the competitions. There's magazines. There's clothing. There's round robins that happen of a weekend that you can write about, or even the whole thing as a whole, as in the world tour. That has a lot of support networks around it as well. So you can think of it as surfing as a whole, but there's also lots of surfing niches within that you can generate an income from with an online course. And that's why it's so powerful. All right, by generating an online course, you are able to talk about, teach, be involved in many different facets of surfing, if that's what you wanted to do. That's just an example, but you can see where I'm going with that. By actually having an interest in it, you're going to be able to deliver your content to your students, to your online course, whatever it might be within that niche. You're going to be able to deliver it really easily and simply because you're passionate about it, you care about it, you like to do it. For instance, with my course Starter, I absolutely love building businesses and making money online. Those are two of my most favorite things. I actually do those things. I build businesses and try and make money online for fun. So that's why I've developed this course that I've got, which is Course Starter, to show people how they can do the same thing, because I am passionate about seeing people take an idea simply out of their head and create something like a business online and make money from it. That is one of my passions. I do that without even getting paid for it. I constantly do that all the time, even when I've got the choice to go and do other things. I actually do that. So that just gives you a really good idea of how passionate people can be about things. And if you can find that thing that you are really, really passionate about and you're interested in and you actually give a shit about, you're going to be able to go the distance, okay? Number 2 is another one that I was really interested in, and probably one of the reasons, well, I don't know if it's second or third, but this is one of my most important ones too. So number 2 is location independence. Oh, ION, can't spell, location. So this is a really big one too, because I didn't want to be stuck in one place going to a cubicle every day. Okay, I wanted to be able to decide, look, I want to go and visit my family in Thailand whenever I please. I wanted to be able to go and see contractors or people for my business whenever I felt like it in the Philippines, which I've done before. I wanted to be able to go and take my daughter to Disneyland when I felt like it, out of school, didn't have to wait for school holidays. She was only young at the time, so I wasn't too fussed about taking her out of school. These are the things that people can do that have this location independence, all right? And that only comes when you create something that you don't have to turn up at, okay? So if you've got a job, obviously you've got to apply for holidays. You've got to ask the boss. They have to then go and check to see if other employees are going to be off at the same time and whether you can even have that time. You might not even get the time you want. I'm sure there's plenty of other things that are you're missing out on, like school events, sporting events on the weekends. Those sorts of things are things that you probably really care about, and you have to go and ask somebody else if you can go to those things. Now, how mental is that? I don't get it. I've never wanted to be able to, I've never loved doing that, asking people for permission to go and do things. And I've been there, don't get me wrong, I've been there. I used to be in the police force, and it was incredibly strict when you could take holidays and leave. And like I said, they would have to go and check to see whether you can even have the leave, but depending on how many people are off at the time. It is insane, okay? So that sort of freedom is unbelievable. You know, I'm able to go and take my daughter to drama, drop her off at school, pick her up. For the most part, I use my location independence. I use that for my family. I do go on holidays, like I said, and I go all over the world when I feel like it. But for the vast majority of my time, I use it for my location independence, to be here for my family. You know, do something for my wife, for her business that she might need and can't do, and it's an urgent thing. I'll go and help her. I can go and see my mother and father whenever I feel like it. You know, like I've said, I'll do things for my daughter. You know, I don't have to ask anybody. I can just go and do it. All right. So that location independence is number 2 on my list. I don't know if I would leave it there, but it's one of the most important ones. Number 3 is to be able to generate a good income. So as you can tell, my handwriting is absolutely atrocious, but you can tell what I mean here. So being able to generate an income while being location independent. So having those two hand in hand together is important, because you can't really have one without the other, okay? Now, being able to generate an income online means that you're not stuck anywhere. It does tie really closely back into this location independence, and you can see why. You can generate that income without having to turn up anywhere. You can be overseas, like I said. I was just recently in Thailand, and I was doing a lot of my work over there, okay? It's not just a one big holiday. A lot of people think that once you have an online business, it's just one big holiday. It's not. You still got to work pretty hard, but you can choose when that work happens and where it happens. Okay, so generating that income on your own terms is really, really important, and it's just such a huge benefit. Okay, because you can control this too. You don't just ask the boss whether you need a raise. You can work at this. You can actually make efforts. You can make targeted, specific efforts to generate more income as well. So that's never just static. It's never up to somebody else. All right, this is all in your control, the generating the income. Number 4. Now, this is super important, and the reason this is probably better than a lot of online businesses as well is it is incredibly scalable. Okay, it's really, really scalable. So what it does, you know, the benefits really of having that online business and as a course is once you have the course structure all done, set up, and it's all the videos and all the modules and all the lessons and PDFs and uploads and everything's there in the course, there is not really a lot of work that goes into that content anymore. That is there, all right? So if you've got 10 people accessing it or you've got 1,000 people accessing it, generally the amount of work doesn't necessarily increase because that work has already been done. So for instance, you would only be able to physically speak to, say, I don't know, 10 to 20 people a week doing one-on-one coaching, all right? So that's all good to get started, and it does, you know, get your foot in the door, and it helps you to train yourself on how to help people in your industry. But moving forward, that is not scalable. You will not be able to get to any more people. So if you wanted to double that, you're either going to have to halve your time with each of these people or halve the quality of the service that you give them. So that's not ideal either. So that's why it's so important to, and such a good idea really, to put everything down in an online course so that people can access it at their own pace, and the quality of the work and the quality of the training still remains the same no matter how many people are joining that. Okay, now this ties directly into generating the income as well, okay? Because if it's scalable, you can make this go up without actually having to change the work that you've done. So this scalability here, it can increase your income dramatically without having to do really that much more work. Of course, there's still work that goes into marketing and generating buzz around your course, servicing the customers. All of those things do come into it. However, like I said, the vast majority of the course is done, and you don't need to, if you want to, you know, take this to this income, you want to do 10 times more income, you simply need to sell 10 times more logins or have 10 times more students log in if you're not a monetized course. So that's, and that doesn't take any extra, all right? On the back end, there will be extras, obviously, with, like I said, with helping the students and support questions and all of that, that does go up, and there are systems you can put in place to make that, you know, more manageable. But what I'm saying is it's scalable. Everything that you've done in that course, you can put 10 times more people in without any more work. That's what I'm saying to the course content itself. Whereas if you were doing that in one-on-one coaching, that would be impossible. You're only one person. All right, so those are the 4 main points and the main benefits about having an online course. There are many others, and I probably will touch on them in several other videos. All right, so I'll leave it there, and if you did like the video, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll be doing a lot more videos in the future about building online courses and running them, etc. So if you wanted to get updated on that, subscribe, hit the bell notification, you'll see all these videos come up. And if you do have any questions, don't be shy, chuck them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Okay, I'll leave it there. Cheers, guys.